The bottle rolled on the floor, still half full, but he didn't grab it. He reached for her instead. She tried to back away, but the wall stopped her. She had nowhere to go. He grabbed her too fast. The dress her father made her wear ripped from the shoulder down, and he smiled like she owed him something. Her father's gambling debts had caught up to him, and she was the payment. Sarah didn't scream. She knew no one would hear her. Not here. Not in the bedroom of the man she just married. Some men wear boots and own land and think that makes them better. But it doesn't. Not when their heart is bad and their hands are used to hurting people. That night, something was taken from her that she would carry forever. But what if that burden was growing? How do you love someone when the worst part of your past lives inside them? It was barely morning when Marcus heard the knock. It didn't sound like a real knock. More like something falling against the door. Soft, scared, like the wind asking for help. Marcus opened the door with one hand, holding his old shotgun with the other. He wasn't ready for what he saw. A girl with no shoes, messy hair, dried blood on her neck, wearing only a dirty sheet. Her skin was covered in bruises and cuts. Her eyes looked empty but watchful, like an animal that had been chased too long and stopped running because it had nowhere left to go. He didn't ask questions. He just took off his coat and gave it to her. She held it for a moment before wrapping it around herself. Her hands shook, but her voice didn't. "I'm not clean," she said. Marcus didn't pull back. He just pointed toward the small room behind the house. She walked like she might fall down at any moment. He got her water and heated some without saying anything. Something told him this wasn't just a lost girl. This was trouble made by a man with power. The kind of man who thought rules didn't apply to him. Marcus had seen this before. He'd fought men like that in the war, in bars, even in his own town. And now, maybe that fight had come to his door again. As the sun came up over the desert dirt, Marcus sat on his porch with dusty boots and crossed arms. The shotgun rested against the wall behind him. He didn't know her name. He didn't need to, because whoever she was, someone would come looking for her. And this time, maybe they'd come to the wrong place. She hadn't been inside 10 minutes before trouble came. Marcus had just put the kettle on the fire when the dogs started barking low. Not panic, just a warning. He stepped outside into the morning sun and heat. And there he was, a rider coming fast down the trail, dust flying. Marcus didn't move, just watched. The man stopped hard. Big body, scar down his cheek, gun on his hip, worn from use. "Saw a girl come through here," he said. "Blonde, no shoes. Might be wearing a sheet." Marcus looked at him like he was looking at the sun. "A girl? You lose your mind already today?" The man didn't laugh. "She belongs to Mr. Harwick. Ran off this morning. She's his wife now. Papers signed. I'm just here to bring her home." Marcus didn't say anything right away. He walked over and filled a bucket from the well. Let it splash loud and slow. You see a scared girl in a sheet running through cactus and rocks, you don't bring her home. You bring her help. That girl's got bruises on top of bruises. And the man she ran from should be ashamed to call himself anything but a coward. The rider's eyes got narrow. "You sure you want to stand between Mr. Harwick and his wife?" Marcus looked him straight in the eye. "I'm sure I'm not moving." There was silence then. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that builds just before things break. But the man didn't draw his gun. He just smiled. The kind of smile that meant next time he wouldn't be alone. He tipped his hat like it was some kind of joke, then turned his horse around and rode off. Marcus stood there for a long moment. When he went back into the small room, the girl hadn't moved, but her eyes were on him now. Not wide with fear, but watching, trying to figure out what kind of man she'd ended up with. He set some bread beside her and walked out. And as he reached the porch, he took down the old rifle he hadn't touched in years. Because men like Harwick don't send just one man. They come back louder, meaner, and next time they don't knock. Marcus didn't say much that day. Never did. But he watched. The girl stayed in the small room mostly. Didn't ask for anything. Didn't move much either. Like if she just stayed still, the world might forget she was there. He left food on the table by the door. Sometimes she ate it. Sometimes not. And every now and then she'd look out the window like something out there might grab her back. Around noon, she stepped out into the sun. Marcus was fixing the gate. Didn't look up right away, but he saw her. Still wearing his coat, still walking like every step might hurt. She stopped a few feet from him. "Can I help?" He didn't answer right away, just handed her a small hammer. "You know how to use one of these?" She shook her head. "Well, you're about to learn." It wasn't much. A few nails, a gate that still made noise, but it was the first time she'd done anything that wasn't running or crying or getting ready for the next hit. And that meant something. Later that afternoon, she sat with him under the porch roof. Didn't speak. Just watched the chickens and the dust blow. She pointed at the horizon. "You think he'll come back?" Marcus didn't look at her when he answered. "I'd bet my last boot on it." She nodded like she already knew, but she wasn't shaking anymore. And Marcus noticed something else too. Her hands had stopped shaking. They came just before sunset. 3 horses kicking up dust like storm clouds. Marcus saw them from the porch. He didn't move, just put one hand on the old rifle by the door. The air felt tight, like something was about to break. Sarah stood inside, half hidden by the curtain. She knew it was him. Harwick rode in front, dressed too nice for a man so dirty inside. His 2 tough guys rode beside him. Both built like trouble and smelling like sweat and whiskey. Harwick got off his horse slow. Took off his gloves like he was somebody important. "Heard you've been hiding my wife, Donovan." Marcus didn't blink. "Heard you've been beating what's not yours to touch." The smile on Harwick's face dropped. "That girl belongs to me. Papers signed. Law's on my side." Marcus stepped down off the porch, calm as morning. Law doesn't mean anything when a man has no soul. The tough guys moved first. They always do. One rushed from the left. Fast but stupid. Marcus turned and hit him clean across the jaw with the rifle. The other drew his gun, but Marcus was quicker. One shot, center mass. Dust, silence. Harwick froze, pale and shaken. Still holding those gloves. Marcus walked up close. Close enough for his breath to land heavy. "You listen and listen good. If I see your boots on this dirt again, I won't be trying to scare you. I'll be digging your grave right where you stand." Harwick didn't say a word. He backed toward his horse like a boy caught stealing. When they rode off with their tails tucked, Sarah stepped outside. She didn't look afraid anymore. She looked free. And for the first time in a long time, Marcus felt like something had been made right. A month passed. Quiet. No more riders. No more shadows on the trail. Just long days fixing fences and quiet dinners on the porch. Sarah smiled more. Not often, but real. Then one morning, she didn't come out for breakfast. Marcus knocked, no answer. When he opened the door, she was sitting on the edge of the bed, hands pressed to her stomach. She didn't cry. She didn't speak, but he knew there was only one truth a look like that could carry. He sat beside her, didn't say much, just watched the dust hang in the air. Finally, she asked, "What do I do?" Marcus rubbed his hands together, looked out the window. "You let it live." She turned toward him, surprised. "Even if it's his?" "Even then?" She stared, waiting for anger or pity or something to push her away. But it didn't come. Instead, Marcus stood up slow. "You're not broken. You're just starting again. And that baby doesn't carry his sin. Only yours. Only what you give it." She broke then. Not loud, just let her shoulders fall and her face lean into his chest. And he held her like something worth keeping. From that day on, there was no more hiding, no more silence. Marcus went into town with her, sat beside her in church, bought baby blankets from the same store Harwick once walked into. People whispered, but people always whisper. And Marcus didn't care. Because in a world where men throw people away like garbage, he chose to hold on, even when it hurt, especially then. Sometimes being a man isn't about what you fight, it's about what you choose to keep. The strongest men are the ones who protect what's been forgotten.